the Opco Studios in Oklahoma City, this is a Thunder Update with Anthony Slater and Jenny Carlson. We're brought to you by Bob Moore Ford. Anthony, let's talk a little bit about that game against the Wizards on Sunday. People still buzzing a little bit about overtime. My question, is it reason to celebrate to have a game like that, or is it cause for concern that this was the Wizards, by the way?
I think it's kind of both encouraging and discouraging. It's early in the NBA season. There's wild upsets. Any team could beat any team. The Sixers and Celtics have beat the Heat. You know, a lot of wild stuff's going on. It was a bad game by the Thunder through 3.5 quarters. I mean, they didn't play well. They were sleepy at home on a Sunday. I mean, so it was kind of discouraging how they played, but it wasn't, panic button time. And then the end is probably, Kevin Durant called it the best 3 minutes of basketball he's played. I mean, that might be an overstatement.
Yeah.
They've had some pretty good basketball since he's been here. But, I mean, the young guys stepped up. Jeremy Lamb hit some big shots. Serge Ibaka was a monster down the stretch. And then, obviously, Durant was Durant when he needed to be. So I think there's encouraging signs, discouraging signs. But either way, I mean, no overreaction 6 games in.
Right. You mentioned Durant, though. He was fantastic that night. Let's be honest. It might not have been his best 3 minutes, but it was pretty good basketball by him, for sure. What about Russell Westbrook? He returned now a little over a week ago. What's your prognosis about Westbrook? Where is he right now? Well,
I mean, the good sign, and we've talked about it a little bit, is he's not tentative at all on the knee. I mean, he's as explosive as we've seen him. He's full throttle, basically. But his shot, he's a little rusty as far as his ball handling. He's had some turnover problems, and then I think he's shooting something like 32%, which, I mean, he's had stretches like this before, but I mean, it's kind of a little alarming. But at the same time, I mean, he's coming off a bad knee injury. Derrick Rose right now is shooting something like 32%. He's coming off an even worse knee injury. So I think you're seeing the rust in those areas, the ball handling, the kind of skill part of the game, which will eventually come around. The thing you were worried about, was the explosiveness, and that's back. So it's kind of wait and see.
Seems like his aggression sort of in non-basketball matters is back too. He gets kicked out of that game against the Wizards.
Only his second ejection ever, which kind of surprising. 43 career technicals,
Yeah.
but only 2 ejections.
Yeah.
A little surprising.
There you go. All right, lastly, let's look a little bit ahead. These early games, not really a ton of big marquee tests. That starts to change.
Yeah, Wednesday night, an ESPN game at LA against the Clippers, who a lot of people think are one of the probably top 3 contenders with the Thunder and Spurs. And then the Warriors, a kind of up-and-coming team, the next night in Golden State. And you know how tough they are to play in that arena, that when that place gets wild and Curry's hitting 30-footers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is going to be two interesting tests. The first 2 interesting tests, like you said, of the season. And then you got the Clippers next week at home and the Spurs coming up in the next couple weeks. It's kind of some good games for November.
Definitely so. Thanks, Anthony. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.